coming up on this week's episode of And Now We're Haunted.
I'm disappointed. I would love to hear of an exorcism where the demon's just like, man, I haven't had Wendy's in like 6,000 years. Just get me a damn Wendy's burger.
Or if they were just like, yo, is the McRib out?
John Wayne is a well-known and pretty iconic
Who
American.
doesn't know who John Wayne is? I don't want them listening to this podcast.
Please don't take that at face value.
That's not incorrect. That
a
is,
dumb bitch.
You're a dumb.
She can't blink.
Meg's views do not reflect the views of all of those included in the podcast.
Nope.
That does sound like my sister.
Boom.
For a really long time, every time we drove through Baltimore, I insisted on playing Good Morning Baltimore.
Really?
From Hairspray. Yeah, and Jay got very upset.
Oh, I
Jay,
hate it.
it's such a great
Lily.
song.
No, because
Yeah.
she would like clandestinely like cue it up, and then she'd like, when I was like trying to change lanes or something, she'd blast the volume to like almost all the way.
You know what? That is
Really?
how we play our music.
You or me? Because every time I was driving in Washington, whenever we would get to the point where I was about to see Seattle, I would turn on Downtown by Macklemore every single time.
Oh my god, dude, me too! That's my song!
It made me love him a little more.
I hate all of you.
Are you sure we're not the same
We're
person?
high-fiving.
Dude, no joke!
Yeah.
I love that
I
song.
hate all of you.
Why? It's fun to do.
No, that song got played so many times. I literally want to eat a
Going
block.
down,
I
down,
played
cruising through the
on
alley.
our drive over to here. I made Steven play Cheyenne.
Oh,
When we
you-
were going through Cheyenne like
Got
the
you.
whole time.
Yeah, we had all sorts of songs to play.
Yeah, we did.
And then we were in Kansas and we played I fucking hate myself. I want to die all the seconds of my life. I don't
I
know.
don't think Jay's been to Kansas.
Okay, I was going to ask if you've ever been to a porta potty because then you've been to Kansas.
Well, so I've never been to Kansas, but I did spend a lot of time in Oklahoma, and let me tell you, that is the asshole of America. I'm sorry for anybody that may or may not be listening to
I
this.
have family in
in
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
So
and
do I.
Yeah.
It's bad.
They probably agree.
I disagree. I
like,
think
My uncle's house is pretty cool though.
So Norman is like, I don't know, 20 to 30 miles from where Tinkler Air Force Base. Tinker?
Tinker.
Tinkler.
Tinkler.
Well, one of my boss's last name is Tinkler. So
Maybe cut that out.
is he from
yeah.
Tinker?
no. But there's Tinker Air Force Base, and if you stand on the roof of the highest barracks on base, you can see the OU football stadium. That's how flat Oklahoma is.
Yeah. That
Like,
sounds accurate.
My
awful.
next story actually mentions Tinker.
oh, interesting. I don't know what you're doing.
Well.
How the turntables turn.
Let's see here. Yeah, so we're moving to Baltimore and we're really excited.
We're moving not too far from Fells Point, so I can't wait to.
Right up the street from where one of our stories was, the
Horse.
first you came in on Saloon.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
10-minute walk from there. That's going to be fun.
Getting back to that name, it's poor. It should be the horse you rode in on Saloon, not the horse you came in on Saloon.
It was a different time.
It was.
Yeah,
Came
a
didn't
lot of
mean the
people.
same.
I know a lot of people are having bestiality relations. You know,
Yikes.
Jeez.
Oh, no.
Whop, whop. I am pretty excited because the row houses that we're going to be living in,
Ours
row
is
house.
Right. Row house.
Yeah.
Ah,
but Steve, you don't even recognize your own house.
okay, well,
I
that's because haven't
recognized
lived in
it.
there.
Did you, though?
I did.
You are literally the only one on the block that's gray stone.
Yeah, we went up to see Baltimore last week. So Jay and I went up to check our place out in the neighborhood exactly. And so we walked past your guys' place and we took a picture of it and we sent it to Meg and Steve, and Steve asked if it was our house. And Jay responded very quickly with,
That's your house, you dumb bitch.
My response then, which I think we recorded,
yeah.
was to then run to their house.
Not a we. That was a you.
That was a you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
You said we, but
said
that's
we.
fine.
When did I say we?
Just
I said
now.
My response to them was, and
You'll
I,
hear
then I
it.
said we.
You're going to feel foolish.
You're gonna
talked
feel
about-
foolish.
We talked about this.
You are a
last week.
fool.
We talked about this last week, is what I said.
Yeah.
I ran to y'all's house, which was 11 miles. Also tried to go on a run this morning. Got a mile in, and Meg texted me, "Can you come upstairs and get the baby?"
I didn't know he was gone, and I really needed to shower. I don't think.
One of these days,
I
he's
had-
going to take off on a run.
I had to turn
And
he's
never
not
come
coming
back.
for smokes. But yeah, we're pretty excited about moving to Baltimore. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
really dope studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
It's gonna be,
It'd be
very
really
nice.
cool.
Once we get this table up those
I'm excited for that bathtub,
3
man.
stories.
Yeah, I know. We've got a nice bathroom,
Mhm.
nice little yard for the dogs,
Yeah.
right across the street, practically from
Yeah.
bars and
We're-
coffee shops. And
Not right across the street. We
well,
share
you
a
guys are
wall with
right
a
next
bar.
door.
Yeah, we're right next to a bar and right across the street
3
from a
blocks
coffee
from each
shop.
other.
We have a cool coffee shop / liquor store because that's how they do it there.
Mm-hmm.
One
Like a
for
block and a
AM,
half
one for
away.
I'm
PM.
very excited about. I'm very excited about the Ministry of Brewing.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh man, what's the place that we went, Jay? What's it called?
Charmed Kitchen.
Yeah, shout out. Delicious.
Fantastic food. And they sell the Maryland distilled old line whiskey and rum and stuff. He's, I guess, a friend of Max Planck, the Under Armour guy, the guy that founded Under Armour. He lives literally on the other side of the block from us.
Dude, I love Under Armour. Let's go be friends with him so we get clothes.
Oh, what I was saying, the row houses that we're going to be living in. Y'all's was built when?
Ours was built in
Yeah,
like
end of
1890.
1800s.
Yeah.
Okay, and ours was 1902.
Yeah.
I was looking, and there is the Fells Point Cemetery, which is right near us, which is
Oh.
a cemetery of the Fell family, apparently very haunted.
Ooh, let's go.
And
No
it's a
way.
couple of, I say a couple of blocks, but everything's a couple of blocks.
The
from
last
Yeah, that's true.
time that we went to a cemetery, you lost the audio recording.
And I bullied a
didn't.
ghost.
I didn't lose the audio recording. I'm not confident in what happened because I immediately, when we sat down, there was no audio recorded at all on the recorder. But I had tested it before and I tested it after, and it was working fine.
Sure, Jan.
I don't know.
Sure, Jan.
But yeah, so today we've kind of gotten away from the John Benet Ramsey.
Kind of. We're out of it.
Yeah, we definitely told that
donezo.
story.
Done.
Dunzo.
Welcome to the
It's on
party,
our
princess.
Dunzo list.
I've got quite the little story for you today, but before I tell you any of the details on who it is or what it is, I'm going to play a little sound sample for you.
Ja, ale die wenigste been. Ja. Und eine Kirche wäre da mal der wenigste.
Sounds like my sister in the morning.
I was going to say, it sounds like me after Taco Bell. Christmas Eve.
I
All
like
right.
it.
So, the story that I have for you all today is the story of the possession of Anna Elizabeth Anneliese Michel.
That's quite a name.
Yeah, I think she just goes by Anneliese Michel. So this is a story about an exorcism. So you guys know what exorcisms are?
Yeah, I do.
We watched that one documentary and it like spooked me. I made Steven turn it off.
Oh, the one about the Italian?
Yeah.
I wasn't a
Yes.
huge fan either. It was a little spooky.
Yeah, like I was feeling like we were letting the devil into our house by watching that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was real creeped out, and I've got 6 different excerpts that coincide. So it's all in German or Latin, the actual recordings, but I do have some timestamps where we can listen to what she's saying, and then I can go over what she said afterwards, like so for context. But I decided to do an exorcism, and just kind of a brief rundown of what an exorcism is. It's a practice that became popular with the Catholic Church in the 1500s, where priests would use Latin phrases to expel demons, such as Vade Retro Santana, which is go back Satan, to expel demons from their hosts. And the Catholic priests and the Catholic Church actually codified this practice into like a rule book, or like we would have in modern times, like a law book called the Rituale Romanum. The Rituale Romanum is one of the 3 canonized texts that kind of give the rights to the Catholic Church. The Rituale Romanum has to do with exorcisms and expelling demons and blessings. The other 2 books are the Missale Romanum, which is the text that contains kind of the celebrations of Mass and the Roman rite of the Catholic Church. And then there's I'm going to butcher this, Breviarium Romanum, which is the Catholic Church's canonized text about prayers and hymns and psalms and kind of the notations for everyday use for the higher-ups in the church, like the priests, the deacons. So anyway, when priests do exorcisms, they use the Rituale Romanum. So if you want to look that up, it's a rather large book. It's like the size of It. And I'm sure not every priest gets through it, just like most
Just like
people
Lily.
don't get through the book It.
Okay, I didn't get through the book It one time.
That's because it took you 13 years on that one
Aren't
time
you on
try.
year 6 of
I'm
trying to
on
get through it?
Year 3, fuck all of you.
It's upstairs if you want to continue, Will.
I actually was thinking about bringing it, but no.
This story follows Anneliese Michel, who was a girl born on September 21st, 1952, in Bavaria, West Germany. So hopefully our Belgium listener who has downloaded every episode will really appreciate this one.
What up, go Belgium?
Shout out, homie.
Yeah, reach out to us on social media. Let us know who you are.
Yeah.
We're
Or
very
email.
gonna say hey.
Or email. And now we're haunted at gmail.com.
So yeah, she was born in Bavaria and kind of grew up in a very traditionally religiously Catholic home in Bavaria, very boring region of Germany. And I say that, but that's where like all the best beers come from.
Truth.
Yeah, anyway, so in 1968, when she was 16 years old, she suffered a convulsion at school, which is horrifying, and caused her to walk around in like a trance-like state. So everybody was just like, hey, there's that weird, creepy girl just walking around sleepwalking again.
Sure it wasn't weed.
Yeah, it could have been.
We don't know.
But a year later, she experienced a similar occurrence where she woke up in a trance and had wet her bed.
These were a year apart.
Yeah. So she had one really big event and then another really big event almost to the day a year later.
Was this day
Um,
significant, like in her life?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But after the second time, she decided, you know what? I should probably go to a doctor. So she went to see a neurologist who diagnosed her with temporal lobe epilepsy, a disorder that caused seizures, loss of memory, also coincidentally experienced visual and auditory hallucinations. As any doctor would be. The doctors prescribed her some anti-hysterical and anti-epileptic drugs, which didn't help her. Surprise, surprise, because according to legend, she wasn't actually epileptic.
That girl had demons
Mm.
inside her.
Demons?
She ate cake after dinner, but before bed.
Oh, yikes.
As that year progressed after she was diagnosed, her condition naturally began to deteriorate. She was still taking her medications, but she started to believe that potentially she was possessed by a demon. She began to see the face of the devil and like everyday things. So like I just in my brain I picture her getting
Like on
out.
toast.
Yeah, like getting out of the shower and like
people have Jesus on toast.
yeah, like getting out of the shower
On a
and like
potato.
drying your hair and then tossing your towel and be like, oh shit, that's the devil in there. That's my wrinkled towel.
The devil on toast.
I just took a shower with the devil, mama.
Well, I see the devil every time I look in the mirror and see my flabby ass. I don't think
Foosballs, the devil.
I mean, that's exactly what it feels like. Cause she said that she like heard demons like whispering in her ears to like kill her family and stuff. Like,
Oh, that's no
just
good.
do buttering my toast. Oh, hey, what's up, Lucifer? What you doing today?
What's
Nah,
up,
I don't
Luce?
want to like murder my family. Not today. Her family thought maybe, you know what, maybe a doctor isn't the right path for this, and they sought out some priests to kind of be like, hey, you know what, knock knock, it's the priest, get the hell out of her.
Can we
Knock,
talk about real
knock.
quick the fact that every time Meg tries to wink, she looks like she's got a demon because she does not know how to wink.
Yes, I do.
Wink.
Wink for
Wink.
everybody.
Wink.
It looks like you're having a stroke.
Right? Exactly.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it
I
again.
don't want to.
Do it.
Come on, let's
Can you
see.
She's an ambiblinker.
Come on.
Come on,
Ambi-
Winky.
Ambywinker.
So Anneliese and her family sought out priests to help with the demonic possession to hopefully get the church to expel whomever, whatever the proper terminology is there, was possessing her. But of course the clergy was all like, we ain't doing that.
I'm sure that's exactly what they were like in the 50s.
Yeah, for a while they were just
Exactly.
like, that's not our thing. No, we do not love that journey for us.
It sounds like something the Pope would say.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe.
So yeah, she was rejected by a majority of the priests and clergy members, saying that, you know what, you guys should just seek medical help, and you know what, we need the permission of the bishop anyway, so can't do it. So sad. Sorry. And at this point in time, her delusions had become so unbelievably extreme that they were actually causing her physical pain. That she was like seeing these things, and she was getting migraines, and
Well,
she was getting
that's not
body
good.
aches, and so
Sounds like she just had a seizure.
these delusions had become so extreme that naturally she decided to take measures into her own hands. So what does one do when you're possessed by the demon and nobody will help you?
Drink.
No, she actually
Oh.
went the other direction. Well, I guess they're kind
I
of the
like
same.
Lily's direction.
Thank you.
Well, she's kind of the same. She ripped off all her clothes. So
Okay.
like what as one
Yeah.
tends to do sometimes
Sounds
when
like
drinking.
post tequila.
Yeah,
Mm.
all right, tequila drinking. And she compulsively performed over 400 squats a day. So
Oh, that's not where I thought
Like-
that was going.
Like naked squats?
yeah, so
Can you imagine?
400 naked
hold on.
squats
So
a day?
in
She'd have an ass like Kim Kardashian.
according to the reports, it was in sequence. She would rip her clothes off, then she crawled under a table and barked like a dog, and then got on the table and did over 400 squats. And this was like a daily routine.
Someone's gonna hear this and it's gonna be their new fetish. It's gonna be a really creepy
Or
sex
someone's going to hear it and then I'm like, oh my God, I do that.
thing. There's 2 different ways this is gonna go.
And of course, after you work out, you create quite the appetite for yourself. So the next natural progression is she ate spiders and coal
Pass.
and
This is where the sex thing gets weird.
bit the heads off dead birds.
Oh my God.
And then when she got thirsty, she would drink her own urine from a puddle on the floor.
She
The
might
dead-
have the devil inside, but she got Jesus in them thighs after
The-
Jesus.
The dead bird thing reminds me of the movie Hereditary.
It does.
She, like,
Also, coincidentally, possessed.
maybe the dead bird thing is like a devil thing.
It could be.
That's not okay with
Have you guys
me.
seen that movie?
No.
It is fucked up.
An audio clip is coming up soon. But finally, after this whole ordeal, which I'm sure her mother was shook,
I'd be shook.
her mother found
Over the squats or the bird?
probably all of it.
I think the peeing in one's own mouth.
Sure.
I'm interested in the logistics of that, but we
She
don't have
drank
to
it
It was
from
with
a
a
puddle.
sheenus.
She drank.
She
No.
drank it from a puddle. She
Were
just
you not listening?
pulled a Stella and peed all over the
I
floor.
missed the puddle thing.
She lapped it up off the floor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The sheenus would have been better.
That's.
You know that product?
Yeah.
Kristen Bell uses it.
Does she?
I hate all of this.
We
Because
Keep
of-
going, Jay. I'm so
because
sorry.
of COVID and she doesn't want to get germs.
Yeah. Shout out to Kristen Bell.
I mean,
And her sheeness.
not really. I think that's weird.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I never use it, but I think it's awesome. What an innovator.
Speaking of innovator, her mom found a priest.
Go, mom.
His name was Ernst Alt.
Ernst.
Alt.
That sounds so German. Who actually believed in her possession and stated it for the court in later documents. Oh, yeah, there's court in here.
Wow.
She didn't look like an epileptic.
Well, that's kind of
What
messed
does an
up.
epileptic look like? I'd like to know.
well, I have an answer, but I don't think you're gonna like it.
Like Michael J. Fox? Ooh.
That's
That's
okay,
not-
and
that's
we are cutting that
Parkinson's.
out too.
well, as long as we're cutting things out, I was gonna say.
No, no.
Oh, trying to wait.
Take a look in the
We're
mirror.
not telling our viewers.
No, I know that. That's why I was saying if it's
That's
getting
why
cut
Meg
out.
won't go to a rave.
It is why I won't go to a rave.
I'm trying to wink in the mirror.
Fuck you guys. I never knew I was bad at winking until I met my husband.
That's probably because every guy you ever tried to wink at
I
just
don't-
was
I'm
like,
They
not
were
like
just
a
like, what's
creep.
wrong
I
with this
don't
bitch?
wink at dudes.
Some guys are at the bar and be like, dude, that special girl over there is trying to
Like,
wink
is
at
that
you.
something you guys do? Do you wink at people in bars?
have
Do
you
you not?
ever,
No.
Have you ever had? Girl, we waved randomly at some folks outside a window the other
Yeah,
day.
that
Of
was
course,
fun.
we wink at people in bars.
Oh man, that was great.
That was great.
What was great
Good
was when we
times.
went back to our truck and he was parked next to us in a parking
I
lot.
would have waved again.
I just busted out laughing.
You know what?
We laughed in his face.
I would have waved again.
You know what? When we move to Baltimore and we post that we're having a beer here, our secret calling to let us know that you're one of our listeners is you have to wink at Meg and she'll wink back.
Well, they won't know that she's winked back though. That's the problem.
Does that girl have something in her eye? She looks like she's truly in trouble.
Like, what is that? I gotta hang on. I gotta.
It looks like someone's spraying you in the face with a water hose.
But my eye looks like it closes, but I swear to God, it's open.
No, it's not.
Ernst Alt
That's where we were.
said she didn't look like an epileptic, which led us on that tangent. He started communicating with Anneliese, and she would write to Ernst in letters talking about the desperation in her situation, and I quote, "I am nothing. Everything about me is vanity. What should I do? I have to improve. You have to pray for me. And also, she once told him, quote, I want to suffer for other people, but this is so unbelievably cruel, end quote.
Ernst sounds like the sound you make when you have to suddenly hit the brakes in the car.
Ernst.
What a name.
So Ernst petitioned to a local bishop, Bishop Joseph Stengel.
Stangle.
God, these names, man.
Stangle.
It's like the
Stengel.
Stengel brothers.
Brother Stengel or Officer Stengel. Oh, that's Dangle.
No,
Dangle.
Mike and Dave.
Oh, yeah, the brother
Their
Stengel.
last
Yeah.
name is Stengel,
Mike and Dave Stengel. Anyway,
I think.
Bishop Stengel eventually approved the request and granted a local priest, Arnold Renz, permission to perform the exorcism, but ordered what would be a canonical, or canon, how's it pronounced? Canonical, a seal on the events, like when a court seals a proceeding. It was to be carried out in total secret, and only the Vatican knew about it.
You think they'd want like more people to know that they were doing good things for Jesus?
I don't know.
So I'm going to play for you a little clip about one of the demons inside of Anneliese talking about family, since it was her family that pushed her to be exorcised. So let's listen in. And what was said through the transcript was, but the bitches who always pray, that can be their only fortune. But that thing you bitch, you implanted into the family, and in these families is the most foul. So what she's talking about here is the rosary that's being held over her head during the exorcism that was blessed by the priests while joined hands with the family. So what she's pissed off about here is that she's being exorcised by not only the love of her family, but by the clergy.
I'm disappointed. I would love to hear of an exorcism where the demon's just like, man, I haven't had Wendy's in like 6,000 years. Just get me a damn Wendy's burger.
Or if they were just like, yo, is the McRib out?
You know, she's like screaming yes, like
McRib
in
is
German,
back.
like yes, and be like a ranch.
Right?
Did you know Macaulay Culkin, like, put a poll up, I think it was last year or the year before, for people to give him a new middle name, and he was going to legally change it. And one of the options was the McRib is back. So he wanted to be called Macaulay, or McRib is back Culkin.
Didn't he change his middle name to Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, so it's Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I love him.
All right, so over the next 10 months, once the bishop granted the rights for the exorcism that Alt and Renz conducted was 67 sessions, lasting up to 4 hours.
Damn, 2 sessions.
I was just
So-
thinking the same.
I'm going to play another
Missed
10
opportunity.
10-second clip, and then I'll read you the sentence. And this is what is so unique about this exorcism.
Okay.
All right, let's listen in.
It just sounded like.
But what she's saying here, who is to blame for that? And she responds, we are. And the priest says, you are. And she says, yes, we. So what's interesting about this demonic possession is over the course of these exorcisms, they was revealed that she was possessed by multiple demons.
That's
As they are.
that's not good.
Can anybody guess what a few of them are? There's 6 of them total.
6.
Columbus.
6 that was revealed. Columbus is not one of them, sadly. Hitler is one of them.
No shit.
No shit.
Hitler is one of
Nice.
them.
Stalin.
Stalin is not.
Man, I'm 0 for 2 here.
Meg, you got another guess?
Who else is pure evil?
Nero.
Nero is one of them.
Oh my god, I got another.
Okay. We're going to come back to Nero.
James
What?
Vanderbeek.
James Vanderbeek is not in there.
Are you sure?
No?
James Vanderbeek is not in there. I'm so sorry.
Blast.
Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner, unfortunately, is not in there, though she should be.
Do I have to guess again?
Guy Fieri.
Wait. I've got another one. Napoleon.
Napoleon is not in there.
Dang it. If I was 3 for 3,
Cleopatra.
I was gonna call it down.
Cleopatra.
All right.
is-
Caesar.
No, Nero is the one.
These are-
Roman.
Nero's the...
Wow. Get educated.
Wow.
All right.
Hold on.
You
I
get
was just
educated.
playful. I'm being playful. Could you not tell by my wink?
All right.
You
You missed it.
guys.
She did one a minute ago. She did this.
All right, so let me play you the
That
15.
was special for you. Why are you sharing that with people? Come on.
So let me play you the 15
Not gonna
second.
lick your
This is
penis later.
ridiculous. Oh,
Yikes.
cut that out.
1724.
So let me play you the 15-second clip where she reveals that Nero is within her.
And you can like cut this out, right? So you can put in the
Yes.
clips for
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
else.
That's that's why I'm writing down
Okay.
the time and the link.
So
of
it
the
comes
clip.
through clearer.
Yeah, because
Right.
that's why we don't say anything during it. I split it
Yeah.
and then
Okay, cool.
All right, here we go.
Sounds like our dog's fighting over a bone the other day.
So, yeah, I heard ich bin, which means I am,
I
and
heard
So
Bendejo.
the transcript is, I am Nero, the third of the bunch.
Ooh.
Nice.
Can you imagine just being there being like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're number 3. Who the hell is number 1 and 2?
James
and which,
Vanderbeek.
and which one of you likes to drink your own piss?
Yeah,
Right?
that's an issue.
All right. So the 6 that were identified, 1 was Cain. Cain, son of Adam and Eve, who killed his brother Abel in the book Genesis
It was
4,
the
1
first murder, you guys.
through. Yeah. So he is one of the demons.
Wild.
The second one was Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot, the disciple of Jesus, one of the original 12. And according to all 4 canonical
Wow, these words are tough for you today.
Gospels, Judas betrayed Jesus in the Garden of
Gethsemane.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Read a Bible, Jay.
and
Jeez.
And addressed him as rabbi,
I'm sure they have it on audiobook.
revealing his identity to the crowd.
With a kiss.
The third was Nero, who we just heard, who was the 5th Roman emperor ruling from 54 to 68 AD. Usually associated with tyranny and debauchery because he was just that kind of guy.
Also was known, and this is useful, Nero was known for his heavy persecution of Christians in the time.
It was.
Persecution, torture, and death, not like, sir, this is a Wendy's, please leave.
Yeah.
And
He also had his mother Agrippina killed 5 years into his reign.
some branches of Christianity do believe that Nero was the Antichrist.
No way.
Not all
Yes.
of them, but
And we'll obviously post the link to this video, but there is a portion in the video where it's Nero speaking through Anneliese, and he is actually advocating for loyalty to the Pope.
interesting.
That's weird, though.
Yeah.
Seems kind of like anti-devil. Well,
The final demon that revealed itself was the last one. And I'm going to play
Wait, who was number? I thought you only got to number 3.
Agrippinus.
No, that was the mother of Nero.
Oh, I'm sorry. One of the final ones
Good one.
that they don't have on audio was a disgraced priest named Valentin Fleischmann. He was a Catholic, Frankish Catholic priest who lived in the 16th century. He was only a priest for 3 years. He was excommunicated by the Pope due to his drunken stupors. And then all of a sudden, I guess he just kind of murdered a couple people. And they were
As
like,
they do.
Hey.
and he was like, yeah, but I was drunk. And then the Pope was all like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that, let alone murdering people.
He's like, then why do I have all this free wine?
You know, I was just going to say, it's very interesting how they have all this access to wine, but you're not supposed to be drunk. Like, come on, guys. What do you want from
Yeah.
me?
pick a
So,
team.
The 5 demons so far we have are Cain, Judas Iscariot, Hitler,
Love it.
Hitler.
Nero,
Yep.
and Fleischmann.
Yep.
And here is the final one. I'm going to play.
That would then make one assume
I mean,
that
that
Hitler
was-
is actually dead at the time and not hiding in Argentina, which
True.
I don't believe.
True.
True.
It's true.
You
It's
don't
true.
believe he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was just chilling.
All
down
right.
in,
So
like,
here's the
Peru or
40-second audio clip of the final one, and then I'll read you the transcript. Let's listen in. But what's being said here is interesting because the demon who is revealing himself is Lucifer himself.
That's what I was wondering.
It was the devil, but what's being said is interesting. And here's the transcript in real time. And keep in mind, this is apparently Lucifer speaking through Anneliese. The priest asked to divulge more. There must be obedience to the Pope. The priest says, please tell me more, kindly. Anneliese says, the pastors must preach again from the pulpit that I exist and have not misled the people. The priest says, the devil does exist. And Anneliese says, yes, I am the devil.
That would be terrifying to have the devil inside of you.
Obedience must be given to the Pope, said by Lucifer.
I don't know. I
don't
think
know.
in the case of a demonic possession, I would say demons are probably not a greatly trustworthy source.
Popes can be pretty fucked up.
Well, also true.
Yeah, pretty much. That's some of the audio recordings. It's pretty terrifying. We'll put up the link to the audio. So the demons would argue with each other, with Hitler saying things in the audio recordings such as, "People are stupid pigs. They think it's all over after death. Little do they know, it goes on." And Judas said to Hitler that he was nothing but a big mouth and had no real say in hell, and he was a powerless little bitch.
You dumb bitch.
This is my house, you dumb bitch.
Judas being like, "Hitler, shut up. You don't do anything. You're a janitor."
Oh, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
God.
Just sweeping.
Just sweep it.
Anyway, throughout these sessions, Anneliese would frequently talk about dying, and I quote, "dying to atone for the wayward youth of the day and the apostate priests of the modern church."
Oh God, what would they think of our youth in church today?
Yikes. So through all these sessions and through the exorcisms and everything, I guess she would drop to her knees and what's it
Yeah,
called?
she did.
Gentilate? Is that what it's called? Yeah, genuflect. So I guess the act of genuflecting is like dropping to a knee or dropping to both knees. But I guess in the Catholic Church, if you're in front of the sacrament or you are believed to be possessed or you're in the presence of someone possessed, you're supposed to drop to both knees in a desperate plea to Jesus. So, and I don't know, that could be wrong. That's what I've read. I don't want to offend the church here. So over these 10 months, she would genuflect up to 6 times a day. So much so that she broke the bones and ripped every tendon in both of her knees.
Oh my God.
But she was adamant about continuing to kneel for prayer. So the priest and her mom would walk her into a room and literally let her fall to her knees on pillows so she could keep praying.
So,
I mean, good for her and the
seems
dedication,
weird that
man.
she's like inhabited by the devil, but she's praying.
Well, because not all
It's
like
it's not a continuous
Yeah.
like
Got
it's
it.
not like American Horror Story. Like she has moments where she's herself.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm confused as to why you have to so quickly smash your knees into the ground.
Yeah, I didn't look into the whole genuflect
Maybe it's like
thing.
a desperation, like she's just
Maybe.
dropping to her knees, you know.
Yeah, I think after, of course, they were all broken and the tendons were all ripped from
Well, yeah.
writhing in pain during the exorcisms.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, so she did this for 10 months. And over this time, she slowly stopped eating. And she eventually died of malnutrition and dehydration on July 1st, 1976. She just lasted 3 more days. She would have made it to the bicentennial of the United States.
Yeah, what a dumb bitch.
How selfish.
In Germany.
She was possessed for almost 10 years.
So 68 to 76.
Poor thing. She died with all those demons in her. I feel bad.
So she was just 23 years old when she died.
Jeez.
And she weighed 68 pounds when she died.
Oh my God.
So after being possessed for that long and having died in the condition that she was, the priests and her parents were charged with negligent homicide in Germany because it became a national sensation. And of course, multiple investigations were launched. They came before the court and they used the recording that you just heard of the exorcism to justify their actions. The 2 priests were found guilty of manslaughter resulting from negligence and were sentenced to 6 months in jail. This is one of the first recordings in international law of being jailed for exorcism rites. However, before the term started, the courts later suspended the sentence and reduced it to 3 years of probation. The parents were exempted from punishment as they had, quote unquote, suffered enough, which is an actual criteria in German law for sentencing guidelines. So what's interesting about this story is that there are multiple movies based off of this. Paranormal Activity 3
I don't want to watch that one.
is based off this.
Why?
It's the third. Nobody needs it.
The movie Requiem is based off of it. And the most famous is The Exorcism of Emily Rose, is, quote unquote, loosely based on it. So with that, there's my story. The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel. And you should check out the audio recording. There's 2 videos. One is about 11 minutes long. The extended version, which has some description, is about 17 minutes long. You can find them on YouTube, but you can also find them on our social media. We'll post the links to them when when the story gets published.
The moral there, exercising gets you put in jail.
It does.
Nope.
That does sound like my sister.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back after these non-messages. All right, welcome back, everybody. So this week we kind of went with the haunted route, and we actually have planned a little bit more of the historical conspiracy and mystery type thing coming up in the next couple of weeks. So you'll be able to look for that. But to go back to today's episode, I have chosen to talk about a hotel out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
I just fell asleep.
That's okay. We all fell asleep doing yours too.
Okay.
If you don't know, Flagstaff is a city in Arizona located about an hour south of the Grand Canyon.
I think we stayed there.
We did.
I have also stayed there. It's where I stayed.
I have not.
Sucker.
It sucks
It's
to be
where I
you.
stayed. I actually almost died when I stayed in Flagstaff.
Because of a ghost?
No,
No.
I wish.
He's just being an idiot.
Today's story, I've chosen the Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Steven showed me a video on this last night. It was pretty creepy.
Yeah, I'm going to show the video to everybody.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So the Hotel Monte Vista was, like I said, in Flagstaff, Arizona, built in the 1920s. I'm going to give a little bit of history about Flagstaff so you can kind of understand why this hotel came about, but it is reportedly very haunted, and to this day there are shows made on it and everything. And you can stay there and you can actually request the haunted rooms, and they are pretty cheap. I think it's like $95 a night to stay in the hotel.
Oh, so they don't do surge pricing, huh?
No.
Interesting.
Whoever decided to go to the Grand Canyon, this is an idea.
I love the Grand Canyon.
Flagstaff. I don't know if you know. So to our international listeners, which we do have, Flagstaff is in Arizona.
What up, yos?
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
we've got Norway, Sweden,
Sweden.
Sweden.
Australia,
Australia.
mate.
the UK.
Bummer, mate.
I want to go to Australia.
Me too, Ed.
So we're a multinational entertainment conglomerate.
Prestige worldwide. So Flagstaff, like I said, sits about an hour south of the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And in the early 1900s, this was kind of the central area for coming and seeing the Canyonlands. There's Sedona is out there, which is a really well-known area of Arizona, just Canyonland.
Doesn't
What's
Route
up?
66 go through it?
It does.
Yeah.
So Route 66 was completed in Flagstaff in 1926,
Well.
which also happens to be the year that the Monte Vista Hotel was crowdfunded and crowdsourced. The reason being,
Oh.
the Flagstaff area, like I said, it was well known for the canyons. They were used later on in the Hollywood movies. It was just the central location for Westerns, and it was just that kind of area.
I love Westerns.
I do too. So
That is where you and I are not similar.
Yeah, I hate them.
in the 20s, though, Flagstaff's few hotels that they had were pretty old and run down because there just wasn't a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
And with the completion of Route 66, there was a boom in tourism. And so the citizens of Flagstaff crowdsourced a new upscale hotel, the Monte
At
Vista.
$96 a night.
Well, back then it was probably $2.
So just to pause. So 66, did that kind of act like, I don't know, today's like 95? Was it like the first quote unquote interstate?
Yeah, it was. Route 66 was originally an enormous highway system. It was
Yeah.
people would drive Route 66
In the
for
20s, it was
fun.
a big deal.
It was all they did.
Okay.
They would go travel Route 66 as their
I
vacation.
thought it was like still a big deal.
It is, but they did build, if you've ever seen Cars,
Yeah, I was just
a
gonna
big
say.
interstate was built which bypasses Route 66. Route 66 more winds through the canyonlands.
Yeah.
No, I
want to
take Route 66.
Yeah.
So it's the
Yeah.
scenic instead of the direct route.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
And
the
that-
Highway 101.
And you
Oh,
have to
okay.
think about the time. If this is the 20s, what Ford was built 1912,
yeah,
1913.
it's very early. So
Yeah,
cruising was like a new
A-
thing.
big deal.
The hotel was founded or crowdsourced by several prominent citizens in the Flagstaff area. One of them, a novelist named Zane Grey, and about $200,000 was raised. Now, at the time,
That's a lot of
200,000.
money.
It is
Still,
today. It's
yeah.
2.94 million is the equivalent.
How do you
So-
build a hotel for $2 million?
Well, I mean,
3.
yeah, I could easily build a house for $3 million. But
Yeah, bed and breakfast.
Not in Annapolis.
But I'll tell you, so the
Not
hotel
in
had a
Annapolis.
lot more than just hotel rooms, and that's probably where a lot of the money came from. And we'll talk about some of the rooms that were there. But the crowdfunding started in April, and the hotel opened on December 31st of 1926, that same year.
Huh.
Built very quickly,
Yeah.
but it
So-
opened on New Year's Day, which is the reason I've chosen the Hotel Monte Vista.
Oh,
Oh,
Happy New
nice.
Year's,
Year's
folks.
episode.
So
Look
do you
at you,
think
babe.
there are a lot of corners being cut?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Plenty of corners. So the hotel was built with 73 rooms.
The
total.
hotel didn't have corners?
It was octagonal.
Still has corners.
That's, yeah, that's
If it was a circle?
It's
it was a circle.
It's-
Jay had a teacher who said that.
really?
It's a circle.
It's a circle.
Oh, good lord. So it was built with 73 rooms. It also contained the local post office and a newspaper company called the Coconino Sun.
That's
Now-
a paper I want to read.
Yeah.
Now,
The coconut amino sun.
Coconino.
Coconino, which is the
Coconino.
county.
Coconino.
Oh,
that
sure.
It is the county in which Flagstaff is located.
Coco
one
Amino.
of the largest counties in the U.S. It's actually larger than Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island combined.
Don't
Huh.
you dare attack my region.
We will attack it all day, son.
Oh,
Sheesh.
I wonder what it
Megan's
is
coming
compared
alive.
to Jacksonville,
I
Florida,
need coffee
which
so
is a
bad, you guys.
huge county.
It is. It is. I think it's much larger because those western counties just really
Yeah, that's
sprawl.
definitely true. I'm from Colorado, and to get to the next town, it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like back home.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
So more about Flagstaff of the time. Just a couple of quick bullet point facts that I've got, just to kind of give you an idea of what was going on.
Aye, aye, Captain.
So Route 66 was finished in 1926, the same year that the Hotel Monte Vista was finished. As I said, it was located prominently near the Grand Canyon. Tourism was a huge factor and actually became the main economic resource even through the Great Depression. The Museum of
them.
Northern Arizona opened in 1928, and that museum was founded by both an artist and a zoologist, whose
Sure.
one of their first projects was to stop a place called Sunset Crater, which is a cinder cone crater. So basically, if you've ever looked at an iconic volcano and it's this big towering cinder cone
Mhm.
with a hole in the top, that's what Sunset Crater looks like.
That's cool.
They stopped it from being blown up for a movie scene by Hollywood.
Sunset Crater.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've already mentioned Hollywood has a big role in Flagstaff, and I'll get again. The hotel was the upscale hotel of the time.
Oh,
So-
it's not that big either. I'm
No,
looking at a
I'm
picture
looking at it,
now.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not huge. Okay.
It isn't.
That makes that $3 million. I'm thinking like when you say like an upscale hotel, I'm thinking of like the Stanley Hotel in
Right.
Estes Park. You know,
Oh, I
like,
was looking at the crater.
Oh.
I want to go to
different,
there.
Different.
Yeah. So the hotel today has this huge neon sign that is very iconic in the
Yeah.
area.
It looks like the Pike's Place.
Yeah,
mark-
it does.
Yeah.
The neon sign and lights on the top of the hotel were
Oh, yeah.
originally used as warning lights for the city in the case of fires or any emergency. The lights would go off so that citizens of the city would know what was going on.
Banks robbed.
Funny you should say that.
Well,
We
well,
do have a
well.
bank robbery story because it is the
Oh.
Wild West of the U.S. What
course.
good
Yeah,
story
it
doesn't
is.
come with a bank robbery?
Can't believe you guys don't like westerns. I'm very
So-
upset.
Terrible.
I mentioned that there was a newspaper company, the Coconino Sun,
Cocoa Aminos. Yeah.
The Coco
in-
Amino Sun.
in the hotel. And I thought hey, that'd be a cool idea if I could find an original newspaper that talks about the hotel opening and things like that. I wasn't able to find that, but
Was that your cat pictures?
So there were cat pictures.
The prize-winning pussy.
Yeah, there was a picture of 2 cats, and the caption was "the prize-winning pussies in this year's competition."
Okay, see, all I saw was something about pussies, and I thought you were talking about me and Jay.
Team Pussy represent.
Woo! Woo!
I mean, that's fair. That could be
That could
their
be their
picture.
logo.
I like it.
The prize-winning pussies.
Oh boy.
I read through these newspapers a lot because I mean it's really, really interesting to get information on the times and how different it is.
There was a lot of pictures.
There weren't a lot of pictures back then.
I was
Jay.
gonna say, so did you read it or did you just like flip through the pictures?
Oh wow.
The pussy flip
Well,
book.
I did find a pretty funny clip, and the reason I'm going to read this little clip out of the newspaper is because I want you to understand Flagstaff, while it was a big tourism town, there wasn't a whole lot going on.
No.
Not really.
There's still not a lot going on.
Exactly.
Come on.
So in the Arizona Times, there is a story from Cincinnati, Ohio. So they pulled information from the least interesting state in the entire U.S.
The worst state.
Sup, Ohio.
The worst state.
Butthole
The
of
asshole of
America.
America.
We've said
No,
that
no.
about a lot of states.
Kansas is the asshole. Ohio is the gooch. And I have gone on a rant, and my wife has heard.
We've trashed West Virginia, Oklahoma, Ohio. Sorry, Flagstaff.
I love Arizona.
Kansas.
I like Arizona a lot too. So, all right,
Yeah,
Arizona,
really
you're
fun.
fine.
I've never been to Arizona, but like I want to go.
It's
Yeah.
really beautiful. I really want to go to
Ugh,
Utah
I
as
love
well.
Arizona.
Go hiking.
Yes, Sedona.
beautiful.
So anyway, this news clip, the title: "Man shoots self, but doesn't shoot self, but dies, however."
What?
What kind of a title is that? That's
So,
our headline this week.
I'm gonna read
How did
this
that make it through the editor? Yeah, that looks good.
along with Team Pussy. Like,
Come
Well, it's the
on.
education
so I'm gonna
system
read.
in
I'm gonna
Ohio.
read just a it's a very short story because I thought it was funny. Charles Schramm placed the muzzle of a revolver against his breast and pulled the trigger. The shot did not kill him, but he killed himself then with a shot in the right temple. This story was told by Dominique Basco, who said he struggled to take the gun away after the first shot. Obviously struggled because he then just shot himself in the head. Coroner Handley was skeptical. Either shot would have been fatal, he said, but an autopsy today cleared Basco of suspicion. Schramm's heart was on the right side of his chest. So this guy's heart was on the wrong side of his chest. He tried to shoot himself through the heart, missed, and was like, nah, that didn't work. I'm going to shoot myself in the head.
Would have been funny is if his brain was like
in his foot.
In the wrong
yeah,
place.
the wrong place, and he missed his brain.
Bottom of his head.
I just don't understand. Like, when you're deducing down, like, how am I going to do this? Why you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for my chest, where I'm going to suffer and bleed out, or I can go through my head.
I don't think people in Ohio are that smart.
Oh my God, Ohio! I'm so sorry.
Hey,
Yes,
Tammy
all 7
Lynn.
of you.
Tammy Lynn, can you just shoot me in the foot? I need to die.
No, that's Georgia.
Jesus.
And Georgia.
Anyway,
Sorry about that
so
too.
that story there.
We only have 2 listeners there.
yeah.
See, it's
So that
fine.
story has literally nothing to do with the actual hotel. I thought it was hilarious and just a funny clip.
I mean, it is pretty funny.
Yeah. So, but back to the hotel itself. I mentioned the newspaper company, the Coconino Sun.
Coco Amino. Yes.
That was not what it actually was. Yes, there was a newspaper company, but it was a front.
Oh,
Were
The
they
19
laundering?
The 1920s
drugs.
were the Prohibition era in the United States.
Booze.
Okay, I approve of this.
Yeah.
Like I said, the hotel opened December 31st in 1927 and was originally named the Community Hotel. Which,
Mhm.
how boring is that?
Yes.
Sounds like a place you go and exchange like dirty needles for clean
Sounds like a
ones.
hostel.
Right?
Yeah.
So, can you imagine the upscale hotel of your community being, oh, what is that community hotel?
It's your day to do dishes.
It's right next to the 4-H. The name was changed after a 12-year-old boy won a contest with the name Monte Vista, which means mountain view. So, yeah, good for you, little kid. And it was the longest held public property in Arizona until the 60s and is one of the oldest hotels in Flagstaff.
Damn, son.
Let's get into the history of the hotel before we get into the ghosty happenings. The hotel in 1927 hosted a woman whose name was Mary Costigan. She was originally from Detroit, Michigan, and she was either the first or second woman in the world to receive a radio broadcasting license. There was some conflicting information on whether she was the first or second in the world. I think she may have been the first in the U.S., second in the world, but I'm not totally sure. She moved to Flagstaff to help her brother and his partner run a community opera house called the Majestic Opera House, but her brother eventually took ill. So using...
What are we in England? Took ill?
I'm taken ill.
I'm taking the ill.
I don't know. It's the 20s.
Hey, can you take this pill? It's called ill.
He's
It's
the
it's like
illest.
pill, but drop the P.
Right, wordsmith over there, Jay. She decided to host a radio station out of the opera house, which was I read it was a 25-watt radio station. So I don't know much about, how radio signals and power works, but I know that the wattage kind of expands your region of influence. The more power you're able to put into the radio station and into the antennas, the more distance that you can cover. Well, she then decided, hey, you know what? This opera house is not a great spot for a radio station. So she moved her radio station to the Monte Vista Hotel,
What?
where she
Unexpected.
also lived. Right. And this is in 1929.
Wait, she lived at the hotel?
She did.
Did she pay hourly?
There's also prostitutes in this story, so that all ties in nicely.
Got it.
Well.
My. On her first broadcast out of the Monte Vista Hotel, 400 guests came to listen to this 3-hour-long broadcast, which kind of shows the Flagstaff was pretty progressive in the time. They're all very excited a woman has a radio station.
They were just excited they had something to do.
Yeah, after reading a news story from Ohio, they're like, man, we got to get something else. She had her first broadcast from the new, more powerful radio station out of room 105, and this radio station produced 100 watts, so about 4 times the power, much larger area. And so that was pretty cool. The Monte Vista also hosted a secret cocktail lounge that was hidden, as I said, in the newspaper publishing house.
Hell yeah.
It was both a cocktail lounge and a bootlegging operation that was incredibly successful up until it was shut down in 1931.
But what's incredibly successful? Is it like, oh, we made $1.09 in profits this week? Or
well,
like...
I mean, that's like $700 today. So,
Okay.
but
I don't think that's right.
I don't know.
I think that sounds off.
A little bit.
So it was shut down in 1931, but it was reopened in 1933 after Prohibition ended. The cocktail lounge still operates today. You can still go and have a drink there, exact same place.
Pass. I'll go to the Four Seasons.
The cocktail lounge was not the only thing about this hotel that was unique. They also had, between 1935 and 1940, they were the only place in Arizona history, or the only place in Flagstaff history to ever have slot machines. So this was a real... What's up, Lil? You looked up something.
I did.
What's
Thank you
the
for
conversion
asking.
rate?
The conversion rate for $1.09 in 1929 is exactly $16.38.
Okay.
So your math was way off.
You
Dumb
dumb
bitch.
bitch.
You guys are so mean to me.
With Steve's monetary acumen here, he probably goes to Home Depot and is like, I'd like to buy this snowblower. That'll be $700. I have 16.
That is accurately what is in our bank account. So
Here's a double bubble and a pink paper clip. What's that?
I will gladly pay you $16 today if I can pay off the rest next Tuesday.
So a little more about the Monte Vista through the years. We had a lot of celebrity visitors to
No.
Monte Vista.
I'm a celebrity.
I've already
visitor.
mentioned
Can I guess one?
Marilyn Monroe.
Nero.
Fuck.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh,
No,
James Dean.
Oh. Elizabeth Taylor.
John Wayne.
John Wayne is one. John Wayne has a large part to play in this story. Some of the visitors we
Did
have.
you know that?
Mary Costigan,
Oh,
who we
good for
mentioned
you.
already, was the radio broadcaster in room 105. And I actually have room numbers for each of these celebrities and where they stayed. In room 203 and 204, Bob Hope was known to stay. Bob Hope was an English-born comedian, actor, singer, dancer, author, and
Who
athlete.
doesn't know who Bob Hope is?
Well, this is for
So-
those who may not,
For all those things you just read. So Bob Hope was an English asshole. Got it.
but an American comedian.
Got it.
So he was well known for performing for the U.S. Armed Forces between 1942 and 1988, and he is known as the first and only honorary veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces, and he appeared in over 70 films and shorts throughout 60 years. Room 205, Michael Stripp, the lead vocalist of REM, stayed. Zane Grey, the novelist who wrote many Wild West stories and was part of the reason this hotel was founded, he actually mentions the Monte Vista in a lot of his novels, the Wild West novels that he's got. A couple of other notables, we've got Bing Crosby, Michael J. Fox, Susie Sue, Esther Williams, and George Babbitt. All have stayed in this hotel.
Why was Michael J. Fox just a passing notable?
Well,
It's probably filming Back to the Future. Remember, one of them's like in a Western.
it's possible.
That's true. That's true.
That's a good point. I don't know if that's when it was, but
I know movies, you guys.
That's why I assumed John Wayne had been there, because the filming,
Westerns.
the Westerns.
well, and that's a good lead-in. So this is where we're going to start talking about the ghost stories. John Wayne is actually one of the first people to ever talk about a ghost in the hotel.
Was he sober?
He was.
Okay.
Actually, a great question.
So the hotel we've already mentioned was used in a lot of Western films. It's actually got a scene in one of the rooms was used as a set for the movie Casablanca. Over 100 movies were filmed in the 40s and 50s in the nearby Sedona and Oak Creek canyons, and that's why John Wayne was staying in the hotel. He stayed multiple times, and for those of you who may not know, John Wayne is a well-known and pretty iconic
Who
American.
doesn't know who John
Well,
Wayne is? I don't want them listening to this podcast.
Please don't
Sheesh.
take that at face
That's
value.
it's not
Meg-
incorrect. That
a
is,
dumb bitch. She can't blink.
You're a dumb.
Meg's views do not reflect the views of all of those included in the podcast.
Right? So, for those, we've got people all over the world. So, if you don't know, he's a well-known American Western movie star, and like I said, one of the first guests to ever report seeing a ghost. And that ghost is the Phantom Bellboy.
Sure.
So, throughout the years, many guests have reported that they get knocks on their doors and someone whispering or calling for room service, but when they go out of their room, nobody's there. Staff members have actually seen a bellboy in a red jacket and the very typical
Standard.
1920s hotel bellboy walking up and down in the hallways and knocking on doors, and then he will turn a corner and obviously the staff will look and he's gone.
Do you have a story as to who this boy is?
No, there's no information on who he would be or how he ended up there. John Wayne himself saw the ghost multiple times outside his room. He reported that it knocked on his door. He opened it. He spoke with this bellboy. And then when the bellboy left, John Wayne looked out in the hall and there was no one there. But he actually spoke with him.
That's
It's
creepy.
a responsible young ghost.
Yeah. And
Looking for
he
some work.
reported that it seemed friendly and he did not feel threatened.
See, like, not all ghosts are mean.
That's room 210. Room 220. There's a ghost known as the Meat Man.
I don't like the
Nice.
sound of this.
Don't like where this is going.
It's like the Axe Man.
So the Meat Man
Nice.
was a guest known to stay in the hotel in the 80s, and he had a strange habit, which I don't think strange really covers what he did. He would
Interesting.
hang raw meat
Mm-hmm.
from the chandelier in his room
Why did
As
they
one
allow him to
does.
keep coming back?
because
You
he's
know-
a paying customer.
You know what? He Lady Gaga'd it.
Lady Gaga.
That was her inspiration.
Got
Well, in the early 1980s,
Meat dress.
he died in the room and was not found for 3 days.
Didn't they smell the meat?
Well,
Wow.
one would think, but that may be it. They may know this guy was hanging meat in his room. They're like, wow, there's the raw meat again, and they don't go in there because
The Meat Man.
the dead body. They're
I mean,
like, yeah, it's just
I
the raw
would be
meat.
like, I am not cleaning
Technically,
this room.
at that point in time, it was just a room full of raw meat.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yikes.
So he was found.
Room temperature meat.
Blah.
I want to know what he was doing with this meat.
Nobody knows why he had the raw meat in there. He would just hang it in there, cure it, and
He was making
that was
jerky.
yeah.
Classic
Back
jerky.
before regular jerky became a hotel norm, but in a different sense. So
Hourly jerky.
Oh boy. Oh, that's where we're going with this joke.
they, get his body out of there, and they're getting the room ready to eventually rent to more people. A short time after his death, a maintenance worker was in there, and he found out that the chandelier light fixture needed to be changed. So he shut all the lights off, walked out, locked the door. He came back, and according to the hotel website, the TV was on at full volume, the lights were on, and the bed had been shredded and everything scattered all over the room, but the door was still locked.
That's aggressive.
According to the hotel website as well, the TV turns on and changes channels on its own, and guests often report cold hands touching them in their sleep.
I wonder what channel it goes to. Does he go like straight to C-SPAN too? Or
You know, I think
it
he's
the Food
probably going to
Network?
the Food Network and
There we
watching
go.
Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives
With
Sub Guy Fieri.
with
He's-
Guy
he's
Fieri.
like-
I'm Guy Fieri, and
You know,
we're
he's-
rolling out.
he's always probably just sitting in his room like, you know what? I'm stuck in this room due to whatever curse. I just want to go visit Flavortown.
I
Like,
mean, he
where
was
is
hanging meat.
Flavortown?
He was hanging meat. So
Flavortown was that room.
yeah,
Ooh.
he was hanging meat. So maybe
What is this, room 205?
this is room 220.
220.
I actually found a review on TripAdvisor from a guest who has stayed there.
Was it Guy Fieri?
Oh, I wish. So
Was
this,
it Ryan Reynolds?
I'm going to go review
snail
this
that's
room.
trails.
5. That's 5. We've got 5 episode streaks. So the TripAdvisor review, I'm going to read it out real quick. The bed was comfortable, room was good size, and the bathroom had its difficulties. Whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this room was deemed the Meat Man room. My ex isn't big on the paranormal. However, I am. We didn't really do any investigating, but we did a lot of drinking. When we got back to the room, I was pretty liquored up, and I started taunting said Meat Man.
Why would you do that?
That would be me.
That would be you.
Calling him a pansy and asking for a sign of his presence.
Are you sure this is not a story about Lily?
Right. The towels fell off the shower curtain in the bathroom, and the bathroom door slammed shut. Needless to say, I was fine, but my ex didn't sleep so well either night. I know it was wrong to taunt a spirit that way. However, he seems to be there. I would stay there again, but I would be nicer and not drink so much. I thought that was
But,
a
so,
perfect.
you know what I got out of that? You've been telling us it's like this upscale hotel of the time, right?
What it was at the time.
You killed that when you said shower curtain.
It's all true.
No one wants to stay at a hotel
Hotel
with
that
a
has a shower
curtain.
curtain. No.
Don't you love it when you're in a hotel and the shower curtain like gusts inward towards the hot water? And,
Don't
like,
touch me, bitch.
The shower curtain like sticks to your leg.
You're
and-
like, "Ah!"
Although we stayed at a nice hotel in Las Vegas that didn't have like a shower curtain or a door, and it just ended up being.
It was one of
Those
those
are
like
great.
the walk-in ones that have
We had
like,
sex in one of those in Whistler.
And cut this out.
Why?
Well, speaking of sex, in room 306,
Was this the Sexcapades room?
this was
This
the
was the
Sexcapades room.
Sexcapades room.
The town of Flagstaff was known to have a very prominent red light district, only a few blocks away from the Monte Vista in the 40s. Room 306, the Sexcapades room as we have now dubbed it, couple of prostitutes were brought back to the Monte Vista one night, and where some argument or something happened, and both of them were murdered and then thrown from room 306 into the street.
Nice.
Numerous guests.
I can just see
Now.
like somebody gets murdered. Like, we gotta hide the body. Throw it out on the street.
It's
Right.
like in the new Borat movie. We jumped from tallest tower
Oh,
in all of Kazakhstan.
second floor. So numerous guests now have reported mainly women report being watched in their sleep.
They're sleeped.
They're sleeped.
I'm fined.
I will say the hotel website itself says the following, and I quote, "The majority of the time, male guests feel that hands are placed over their throats in their sleep and then cover their mouths, and they feel that they cannot breathe." The hotel website says that most guests that are male feel like they're being strangled.
In every room or just the
Room
specific
306.
Room
Is
306.
it specifically married men?
Just
It's
men.
just men.
Oh, okay. I was because that wouldn't be any different than their everyday lives. Bazinga! I'm kidding, guys. I'm
Both
kidding.
y'all are
You're
married.
gonna feel something around your neck here in a second.
And then she's going
Don't
to
go to
awkwardly
sleep
wink
tonight,
at you and
Jay.
say, "This is the end." But yeah, I thought it was crazy. The hotel website says most. That is wild to me.
You guys want to test this theory?
I do.
Kind of.
Because guess what? Room 305, next door to the Sexcapades room,
Is it next door or is it across the hall?
it's next door.
Okay.
Reportedly the most active room in the entire hotel. Which to me, if you say most men feel strangled and that's not your most active room, this
Nice.
hotel seems like a pretty dope place to go visit.
Hell yeah, pimp.
So, room 305 reports of a woman in a rocking chair she's been seen just rocking by the window. The rocking chair will move by itself.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
There's knocking that happens inside the closet.
Knocking boots.
Does it come in threes?
I don't know.
We should look into that.
Yeah.
And there are other strange occurrences that just scattered throughout the hotel's history. An elderly widow is recorded as being a long-term renter of the room, and she would spend most of her days sitting by the window in the rocking chair, and nobody knows why. She would just sit there like she was waiting or something like that. So I have a video real quick that I want to show y'all. So I actually can't post it. So on Amazon, it is episode 3 of Most Terrifying Places. It was $2.99 for just the episode. If anybody wants to watch it.
$299.
Yes.
That seems absurd. That's more expensive than the room.
But it is only several times more expensive than the $1.09 in the night.
You and your
Your
conversions.
math is morbid.
It is. Yeah, my math is as bad as my wife's winking. I thought that was a very convincing video because, I mean, obviously he looks like an incredibly scientific and logical scholarly source.
Of course.
But it just there's some authenticity. It seems like in the
Seems like you're
voice.
judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Don't we
well.
all? But no, it was some variable of authenticity. He did seem like it sounded like he was
Yeah.
terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think he had the acumen to rig that up to do that.
Yeah, who's judging now?
Yeah, I'm a stupid bitch. I wouldn't figure that out. No, I mean,
So, yeah,
I really
that's-
wouldn't be able to do that.
That's room 305. Now, there's other reported hauntings with the basement of the hotel. There's reports of an infant crying incessantly, which let me tell you, I know what that sounds like. And if I can't tell where the baby's crying from, I'm going to be very upset. Staff members have even run upstairs away from the crying to get away from it because it's so constant and loud.
Yikes.
There have been full-bodied apparitions and visions of prostitutes in the hotel basement. It's a very strange location because the basement has connection to a system of underground tunnels built throughout Flagstaff. These tunnels were built by Chinese immigrants in the area, and there are some mines in the area of Flagstaff, some silver mines. And in the 20s, the West Coast had a lot of East Asian immigrants that were either working in the mines. They're a lot of times forced, and that's a big part of the U.S. history is the West Coast Chinese and Asian in general immigrants. They go all the way through Northern Arizona University, Flagstaff. They connect with the Weatherford Hotel, Babbitt's Backcountry, Monte Vista Hotel, as well as a lot of other stores and bars in the area. They were built because in the early 1900s, a fire burned down and damaged a ton of the downtown Flagstaff buildings. The Chinese immigrants were blamed because of their cooking and cleaning practices. And after that, they dug these tunnels so that they could get around Flagstaff and not be attacked or mocked or whatever. These tunnels are still in existence today.
That's dope.
We need to get down there.
Yeah, they're used for storage and piping. And it is said...
Laying some pipe.
Wow. I'll quote this real quick. It is said the larger alcoves of the tunnels have been home to more suspicious activity, such as opium dens, moonshine distilleries, gambling machines, and other relics that have been discovered in the depths of Flagstaff's underworld. In general, Flagstaff itself is a pretty haunted location. These tunnels are said to be very haunted as well. I won't get into that too much because it's more focusing on the hotel, but the whole region, there's a lot of sadness and death. And
It's Arizona, of course.
it's
Number
better
one
than Ohio.
retirement state.
So a couple of other minor reports just to wrap this up. Some hotel guests have claimed they've seen a couple dancing in the cocktail lounge in full 1920s garb.
Love it.
Disembodied voices in the lounge greeting people with good morning and bar stools that move on their own. The reason for this is apparently there was a bank robbery, and I didn't get the date on the bank robbery, but 3 men successfully robbed a Flagstaff bank. One of the men was shot by a guard, but they had just robbed a bank. So instead of going to get him help, they said, we successfully got away. We're going to go to the cocktail lounge and we're going to have a drink and celebrate.
Naturally.
Well, the
Okay.
guy that was shot bled out and died in the cocktail lounge. And he is the one who reportedly greets guests now in a cheerful manner and says good morning and we'll move bar stools.
At least he's friendly.
Yeah, I mean, he died rich and having a drink. So, like,
what's there to complain about?
he
Honestly.
went out on top.
So,
Fair enough.
mostly friendly ghosts, a couple of very upset prostitutes, but other than that.
So is it the prostitutes that are angry and strangle the men, or is
Yes.
it's not them? Okay, so they're like
Maybe they're
watching
not
over the
angry.
women.
Maybe they just think that that's like the men's kink.
Maybe.
Or maybe you could run a scientific experiment and leave a 5 spot out on the table that just says, "Don't strangle me."
Does daddy want to be choked?
God.
That
So-
would be actually very interesting. Leave some money on the counter.
Yeah.
And
But-
you wake up in the morning and it's shredded, and you're like, "Yeah,
we
I'm
have
dead."
to leave.
Yeah, we gotta
have
go.
to go.
So yeah,
Daddy's gonna get
that's, that is the Monte Vista Hotel in Flagstaff, Arizona, and
And the Coco Aminos.
and
Coco Aminos.
Coco Nino. So happy New Year's, everybody! Like I said, it opened on December 31st, and
May 2021
Be less
be
of a dumpster fire.
much better than 2020.
I have no hopes for 2021 because then my bar is set very low.
Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, though, we talked about this. 2020 in general has been pretty rough, but for us individually,
It's not been so shabby.
bad.
not
so
been the
bad.
worst.
Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
Oh boy,
I don't.
Yeah,
Get this damn baby weight off. Shit.
To be better at my math.
that's me.
That should be Steven's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Evidently.
Sheesh. Hey, I'm not a math guy. All right, I'm a words
Yeah,
guy.
It's clear.
All right. And with that, here's to a better 2021. We've looked into the void.
Interrupting Cal.
Move!
Keep it. Keep it.
Yes. And now we're haunted.
Hi, everyone. Steven here. I just wanted to reach out and remind you that we can now be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and many other places where you listen to your favorite shows. If you could do us a huge favor and leave us a comment, a review, a rating, and anything you think that we can do to improve this show and make it better for y'all. We're really enjoying this, and we want to make this the most enjoyable experience we possibly can for all of you. So just leave us that rating or a review, send us a message on Facebook, just reach out, and we'd love to hear from you and see if we can make things even better. Thanks.